I'm Daniel Franco. I'm the Senior Manager for the Healthcare Data Platform for the Interoperability team. Today, we're going to talk about some strategy and the focus and some road mapping that we are doing the healthcare data platform side. The agenda is we're going to talk about a little bit the healthcare portfolio, because I know for a lot of our customers when we say, oh, healthcare data platform, what are you talking about? Where's FHIR? Where's IntelliCare or TrackCare, if you know what it is? So I want to give an overview first here about it. Strategy and roadmap. We're going to talk about innovation, of course. I don't think you guys are going to hear AI, not at all. Imagine. And what else do we support? Because all of those things that we're doing and we are innovating about, they're great, but there are also other things that are part of the basics that we really want to continue to evolve. And there's a spoiler alert later. So this is our healthcare portfolio. And I will focus in what is green here, the IRIS for Health, the FHIR service, and the Health Connect. FHIR Unified Care Record and InterSystems EHRs like IntelliCare and TrackCare, they consume IRIS for Health. So capabilities that are in IRIS for Health can be available for the teams that are developing other technologies. But it's not necessarily everything that is available in the IRIS for Health will be available in those products like this. Nothing is like miracle here, right? Like there's always work. So we have to translate, get the functionalities that we are allowing other products to get, and they have to transform it to be applied to their use cases. Just want to make sure that we have this as a baseline foundation of our conversation. And healthcare, in the end, is data care. I had the privilege to work with EHR for many years. So training doctors and nurses the whole night and making it work in administrative, the clerk, allied health. And we always seen the patients, and we care about their lives, and we care about everything. But when we are there at that point, sometimes we forget about like where this data is coming, who is actually doing the plumbing behind the scenes, where the data is actually being stored. I think who works with interoperability in general sometimes doesn't see the end goal. And I think it's important for us to remember that everything that we do is to improve an outcome. Oh, but it's just a transformation, it's technology. There is a reason why, right? And it's an important reason. This transformation that you are working on, this pipeline that you are creating, this new interface that you are doing, is not just to send the data from one place to another. It's to actually improve the outcomes for your organization or for the patients. So lives, your life is at stake when you do this. It's important for you as well. So this is a noble job. The secret sauce of all of our technologies is you have connectivity, health standards support, multimodal database, analytics, data quality, AI/ML, cloud-ready infrastructures, all in one only common data plane, sorry. And you also, if you are developing applications, you also have a common development and modern user experience to develop your own applications based on APIs or user interfaces. And for the sake of understanding better how we're going to show what the things that we did, we separate in two categories all this common data plane. One is the healthcare interoperability, which is everything related more like the data types that we support, like FHIR, CDA, HL7, Daikon, X12, all the things that you guys know more than I do, right? And how can I manipulate this data? So through a modern UI, I can create FHIR facades. I have out-of-the-box connectors. I have security. I have metrics. I have terminology. I have out-of-the-box healthcare transformations, data validations, and a lot of other things that the graph didn't allow me to add because it's not that big. But I would like to comment one thing in the bottom. I don't know if everybody knows, but InterSystems in the last 3 years, I guess, more than this, we are going to the cloud. Our customers are asking us to provide some new products and new offers in the cloud, right? So we are working towards that, and we have an offer called Health Connect Cloud. And it provides change control, high availability, disaster recovery, and manage upgrades. I would like to stress a little bit the manage upgrades, because I know that this is a pain point for a lot of our customers. When you stabilize your application in Health Connect or Ours for Health are the backbone of your entire service, you don't want to change. And then we come to you and say, hey, there's a new feature, there's a new bug, there's a new security, or there are new things for you to use, and you say, this is painful for me because I have to talk to a lot of people, put a lot of teams to work together. That's why we are actually managing the upgrades in the cloud for you, to make it easier, and you just invest your time in things that are important to you, which is actually creating the interfaces or creating your applications. The other side is the data management and development. So this is more like the source of data that we receive, right? So it's claims, operational, clinical, supplier data. So everything that you can use in this fabric to use your data or extract the best of your data, or develop applications that will get this data and use it to send to analytics or third parties or AI use case, or even develop other healthcare applications. We invest a lot in development tools and AI capabilities as well, and I will dive deep into that. But if people ask me, like, Daniel, if you can tell me the top 5 things that you are working on. We are working on the transition to cloud. So yeah, we're going to listen a lot about the transition to cloud, why we are doing this in the cloud. This is a cloud-first feature. This is a cloud-only feature. But the main approach is to be API-first approach, right? So we can create new features that, regardless if you are in the cloud or on-prem, you can use. Cloud-first approach for some features means that we are just going to develop this and deliver this in the cloud first, and then we're going to allow our customers to use and interact and learn and see if the on-prem customers want to actually to use this, so we're going to bring it back and how we're going to bring it back, because the experience sometimes is not the same. And managed service as well. We have an entire managed service team that if you want InterSystems to manage your environment, you can work with us. The second one is a faster data exchange. So we are investing a lot in new adapters, data quality, validation and transformations of data, and of course, FHIR. So new adapters for FHIR. We want to make the FHIR server greater, and we're improving that. Our FHIR transformations, or FHIR conformance. So all of these things we are actually heavily invested right now. Modern UI. There's a lot of research that we are doing here in the next 3 days about the UI of our interoperability layer. DTLs, data transformation language, doing the transformation mappings if you know. If you don't, please talk to me later, I can show you. Productions is the way that we create interfaces. So we are improving the UI for those. We're getting to a low code, no code setup. And of course, for development platforms, customers that are developing applications. The CLI are there, the APIs are going to be there, new tools are going to be there, multi-language support we're going to be there, but we are focusing on if we can do it faster or easier for people to come in and build an application and go to the market tomorrow and test this application, that's our focus. That's what we are thinking about. Okay? And the cloud portal, if you are a customer in the cloud, you're going to have access to a cloud portal, which provides some functionalities as well. So we want to improve the experience, the user journey to use the platform. The data management enhancements, we are heavily discussing data fabric for healthcare. We're going to talk about this a little bit more later. Data governance in analytics, and of course, AI. But we want to do this very carefully. I have a lot of pressure from my peers as well to say, hey, deliver something in the cloud or deliver something with AI, please. This is something that we need to do. But we are dealing here with very specific types of data, so we need to be careful. So it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that we need to carefully look at this and actually find the use case that is easy and has value. Not like we don't want to reinvent the wheel. To do that, we are also changing the infrastructure to actually embed AI on it. So vector search, we're going to talk about how we can leverage this in the FHIR, in interoperability, or the new buzzword, MCP. Of course, it's something that we're going to talk about it here as well. And putting AI within the workflow, not something that is an end, but it's while you are actually working on it, how can you use AI to build applications, to build interface, to build transformations? I would like just to highlight data governance, because it's there, isolated, but for me, besides all of these things, with all these buzzwords about AI, about AI, if we don't have data governance, proper data governance in place, anything will work. We need to have data governance in place. We need to have everybody that is here today, or the next 3 days, everybody that is in this conference needs to understand what data governance will take us, where this will take us, and if we don't have, what's going to happen. So we are investing this a lot here as well, because we want you to be able to use your data, but in the correct way. So, and these are the table stakes, let's call it this. This is InterSystems' way of doing things. We always think about speed, scale, and security. So this is a given. I just wanted to provide to you the overall. If we go a little bit about, if we're going to talk about deliverables and roadmap, I'd like to talk first that although we're talking about cloud all the time, we understand that a lot of organizations, they might not go to the cloud. Maybe in the future, but not now. And it's because of financial issues, security concerns, performance issues. They don't have the team that actually knows about it, or the culture. They're, no, I don't want to go, and and we are fine. So, but now with AI, everybody's like, going to the cloud is easier. Going to the cloud is easier. Yes, it is. You're going to be closer to other applications. You're going to be easier to manage what you want to do. But we understand that each organization has their own timing, but we are here to help. If you want help from us to move to the cloud, please talk to us. We have experience. We have other customers that are looking for as well. So please, it's a call to action. If you want to talk, please, let's talk about it. But regardless the architecture, most of the goals are the same. And I might be wrong, so we can discuss later, but at least I'm here. Everybody wants to have an easier connectivity to the data. Data quality, data transformations. I separated both, although they could be part of it, but because data transformations is so important. Ease of use, multi-language support, security, and high performance. Everybody's looking for that. Regardless if you are on-prem, in the cloud, if you are a developer, application developer, or if you are a provider, if you are a payer, like life science. But having that, the goals are faster access to curated data, easier tech adoption and development, reduce cost of operations and care, improve patient outcomes. And here's where I was, when I started, I was talking about the outcomes that we sometimes forget. We keep thinking about technology, but we forget about why we are doing this interface. This is important for us, that we are working with the plumbing. We're not only working with the plumbing, we're really talking about how can we reduce the cost of my operation, my care. We are all patients, so we do it for us as well. So we have to think about that more and more. In 2024, to achieve those goals, we delivered some of the things that are here. Let me see. All the things that are here, of course, we delivered. Some of the things that I was just trying to find another slide that is not here, but anyway. We improved the velocity of our FHIR server, advanced JSON strategy. We saw improvements in the magnitude of like more than 1,000 times. This was a great feature developed by the development team. A FHIR object model. We improved smart scopes. We created a multi-management FHIR dashboard where you can have better observability of your FHIR management, of your FHIR service. A book FHIR coordinator, OAuth wizard, search parameters and improvements. And for the Health Connect part, the interoperability part, it's interoperability use metrics, message, OAuth, production validation, create DTLs, enhance data quality, modern UI. So all the things that I said that everybody wants, we are investing on it. And all of this is part of IRIS for Health. Okay? One piece is only part of interoperability, the other is FHIR. IRIS for Health have both. So what do we want to do going forward? And Elijah, don't kill me here. Elijah is the product manager for FHIR. If you guys want to talk about it with him, he's here. But we're going to talk, we're delivering the next 3 or 6 months. We are pushing a lot for, sorry here. For the book FHIR, we really believe in book FHIR and how you can easily move your data around. A lot of customers are asking us, or coming to us now, saying, hey, 2 years ago I started to play with FHIR with another vendor, but now the vendor is not scalable anymore. I need you to work with you guys, or you guys have to help me because now that FHIR became serious, at least for my organization, they say, I really need a partner that I can trust. So we are working a lot with scalability, security in the book FHIR to facilitate this migration of data from an external FHIR server to ours. So you can see a lot of book FHIR work here. And we're going to deliver it in the next 3 months, or less than that, hopefully, in the new FHIR offer that I'm going to talk about as well. For the 6 and 12 months, well, we're going to continue to invest. FHIR is a protocol, so sometimes it's not that sexy, right? It's just people say, oh, you're following the standard, you are just covering some new parameters or some new operations, but we are trying to do more. We are doing more, actually. So we're going beyond that. For example, the book FHIR insert is one example. The framework says, oh, you get the data in any JSON and you download to your own computer, and then you upload to another FHIR server. Security issues? Like, people can have access and download the data into their computer, patient data? No. So what we did is, if you connect to InterSystems FHIR server, we ingest the data automatically. In 2 buttons, you can do it. Okay. There are other things that are just part of the framework, like the new search parameters or FHIR subscription. We did a FHIR query builder. Pat is here. He built it. Thank you, Pat, for that. We're going to add to the product innovations that are coming. We're keep adding to the product. We're improving FHIR validation, improving FHIR analytics with the current offer that we already have called FHIR SQL Builder. And we are improving the data transformations. I'm going to talk a little bit about, dive deep into that a little bit later. And in 12 months, in 1 year, we're actually working to provide better FHIR insights about your data using GenAI and connect to MPI, use table partitioning, charting, and I know that new regulations will come, and we will have to do a lot of other stuff because the market is asking us to do it. So I left a buffer there. For the interoperability, is how can I say, in our overview, is data quality and faster access to data and security. So you see data validations, you see in UI, you see new screens. For example, we are working with the DTL and the production validation right now, and we have released this in 2025.1, but we're continuing to work on it, and we are opening 2 new sections, which are BPL, graphical tool, and we're rebuilding how you interact with the message. We're going to call Message Hub. So it's a different way, an easier way that you don't have to go click in many places to get to your data. Okay, so we are fixing that. And in 12 months, we want to improve AI. I know that sounds like buzz, but we need to get there. Like I said, we're going to get there, but we need to make it a little bit more. We need to be cautious there because we're really dealing with sensitive data. So the new releases that we would like to announce here are 3 main. The new FHIR as a service. It's available in AWS, featuring complete FHIR for book FHIR, SQL Builder, everything that I said here. We have a new feature called CDA validation. Validations, I don't know why. But where the user can validate their CDA based on the rules and identifying points of improvement in the documentation. And an experimental feature called DTL explanation, which is if you use a DTL, if you are a system integrator or developer, you know what I'm talking about. It's very hard to see the DTL and understand the mappings. I see some nodding, so I think people understand where I'm going here. It's very hard to onboard new people to understand what a DTL does. So imagine that you have to do a change in a DTL or a transformation, and you say, hey, new person, please just go there and do the mapping change. And say, which one? What do I do? I don't know. So you have to read the code. And we are making this easier for someone that doesn't need to read the code and understand what is happening. Say, okay, this is the DTL that I actually need to improve. Okay, so this is already available. It's in the EAP. You can go in InterSystems EAP page and you can sign. Let's talk about innovation a little bit. When this started, like 1 year and a half ago, 1 year ago, like this became actually very buzzword to use AI and everything. Everybody was like, oh, fix with AI, right? Like it's put it there, put your data there, and you're gonna have something. Yeah, sometimes that's true, but the thinking is always like this. I want to use this AI. What do? I have data. I have AI. I pay $20 to ChatGPT, OpenAI. I'm going to put my data there, and something will come up. Well, that's a start. That's fine. We cannot do this with our data. We cannot do that. But that's a point. But so, in some of those, as you can see, is actually like that. For example, things that we are working on, the detailed explanation is basically that. You get the data, you use LLM, and it will explain to you. You can improve with RAG. We are improving. We can do a lot of stuff there to make it better, but we are working on it. FHIR Query Builder, same, is using the knowledge that is already there with RAG. Value set mappings using catalogs. The FHIR Insights, JSON, using an LLM, it can explain to you what in a narrative, what the FHIR payload is. And the others are not that easy, okay? So if you think about AI transformations, I want to create, using GenAI, I want to create HL7 to FHIR transformation that does XYZ. Great, but you need to fine-tuning a model. Otherwise, this will give you whatever. Right? And we are doing this internally. That's why we know. Prompt interface, the same. Create for me an interface that gets HL7 from this source, transform it to FHIR, and send to the FHIR server, and plot the interface for you in the production. It's also fine-tuning. We need data to understand, catalog very well with all the interfaces, and then we can generate this. And other customers are even coming to us with, like, okay, Daniel, that's great. You're going to create a model and going to ship to me so I can use, but I want to use my own data. So there is the dedicated fine-tuning that we are also working on as a pipeline option in our products, that you can take all your DTLs, for example, all your productions, training, and use inside the product. So it's going to be used based on your rules, not generic rules. Okay? So this is a further use case. And the last one, which is heavy because it's an architecture change. For example, the FHIR with MCP and vector search. We really need to change the architecture of the product. And we are working on it. There is a FHIR vector search MCP AI-ready FHIR server that we are working on it internally. And this would be something like this. MCP defines how the AI agent interact, and the vector search enhances what they can find. The MCP orchestrate tool based access to the FHIR data, and it will be something like this. Instead of sending the FHIR query, it will actually translate to get active problems, for example. So it will create another layer of abstraction for you. So it gets easier for people that doesn't understand FHIR can interact and actually get the data. And from other applications as well. The application not necessarily needs to talk about FHIR. They need to understand the intent, the context, and can retrieve information. So in a summary, the layer is the FHIR server existing layer. They store and serve the patient data. The MCP translate, and the AR orchestrator actually talks to MCP endpoint, not directly to FHIR. So this creates another layer around your FHIR server. Of course, with great powers, great responsibility, right? So a lot of other security points of failure. You have to think about even more data privacy, the model poisoning. I really like this one because a malicious actor could corrupt AI training data. So it goes even beyond you actually have something. They just put some noise there and you think that you are doing a great job, everything is correct, but you haven't validated your data yet. Prompt injections, we know this one. AI hallucinations. And then you have to think about the creating of the security. Everything that you are doing for AI, you really have to think about bottom up, not like I have an idea and now I will execute and then later put the security around. This is not going to work. It's a recipe for failure. But besides all of this, what else do we support? We believe in TEFCA and QHINGs, right? And here is where this is what we have today, like the TEFCA with the QHINs and this, for example, a state HIE in California send the data to a QHIN, the QHIN talk to the other, the health system in Florida. And this is where, when the TEFCA will support FHIR, this is what they're going to this is going to be the workflow that they are intending to use. So we have a FHIR repository connected to the QHIN. The participant asks, where is my data? Then the QHIN said, oh, your data is in that FHIR server. Go get it. So it decentralizes even more and takes out of the burden of the QHINs a lot. But for this, we support a national FHIR registry discovery service because this will make it easier for all providers and payers to understand what are the valid FHIR repositories that can be queried. Sorry, I don't know what's happening here. What are the products that customers can use to fulfill those needs, like in that same workflow? I think the animation here, people. So it's known that our products can solve these problems, but sometimes we try to reinvent the wheel because something new just appeared and we say, no, we need another product. No, you just need the same products that you use today, but maybe in different levels. For example, the HIE in California could be used in FHIR. The health system in Florida can use Health Connect, right? The participant here is asking for data, is actually using Health Connect Cloud, and the FHIR repository is a FHIR repository that in the cloud, InterSystems FHIR repository. So all the offers that we currently have support the future. We also believe, like I said, in book FHIR. Okay? So we do think that having an easier way to get data and send the data to your use case is the future. Actually, it's the past, but we're still talking about it, right? We need to have a configuration UI that anyone can just go and fulfill some information to set up the book FHIR. We created automatic insert, like I said. We're validating the data while we ingest. We have schedules, which means that you can get the data every day at midnight. Please go fetch the data and grab the data, so you don't have to keep like pressing the button. You have already everything set up for you, and a detail logging. This is very important for you to understand and troubleshoot what's happening. And you can send this to your AI, the FHIR server, FHIR apps, and you're going to see in one of our presentations later, Elijah, how much time did you take to build the application? 2 hours? Something like this. So using the book FHIR API, Elijah will show to you an application that he built in less than 2 hours and using Python, for example. And that's why the development is here. The other thing that we really believe is the unified transformation framework. So as FHIR continues to be heavily used and new regulations are appearing to using FHIR as well, we really need a better approach for transformations. We do have a lot of good transformations out of the box, but we need to make it better. So InterSystems has a huge effort internally to listen, that we are listening to our customers and we're improving the transformations, creating a unified transformation framework to further abstract the transformation layer. So some customers say, oh, but I don't know how to work with DTLs. I don't know how to work with object scripts. I don't know how to work with lookup tables or foreign tables. And we are trying to get into a place where this is even more abstracted for the user to get the data and use their data. Okay? This is a huge effort internally, and this is like cross-company, and we're really working to improve that. As I said before, this slide should be before the one that I just showed, but this was a segue for the development that Elijah was showing in the FHIR development session, which is we're improving development user experience even more and make it easier for people to just get the right APIs and create their own applications in their language that they would like to. For example, the language that I think was Python, right? Python, using the FHIR server, and he create an entire new application in 2 hours. And we also believe in data fabric for health. Like I said, in the healthcare portfolio, we have data fabric for patients, which is FHIR. And we have the EHRs, and we have the plumbing. But our customers, we want to do more. We want to actually get more data than just the patient data. What about ERP data? What about facilities data? What about consumer data or food, like we saw in the morning, like what you're eating, what are you watching? All of this influence in your health. But this type of data currently is not in our data models, like in FHIR or even in Tracker or in Telecare. So we need to go beyond that, and InterSystems is going beyond that. So not only clinical data, but other types of data in an enterprise level data. That's what we are aiming to as well. And as a spoiler, tomorrow we're going to launch a new offer that summarizes everything that I said here. So stay tuned tomorrow morning in the keynote for data platform. And next, we're going to have a lot of new meetings. Please take pictures of these and go to these meetings because they're going to dive deep a lot more than I did here about the roadmap, about what we are doing. You can ask more concrete questions about what each team will do specifically and contribute to what you actually think that we should go. Right? We are a very customer-obsessed company, so if you guys talk to us, we will listen. If we don't, just talk to Milian. This is the EAP page. If you want to join the detailed explanation EAP or any other EAP, you're going to see this screen in all presentations. So if you miss that, that's fine. The next one, you can get it. And also the survey you have in your app. You can just under your profile and click in survey and provide more information about what you think about the event. We still have 3 minutes, and I know that coffee is more important, but if anybody has any questions, please just ask and we can discuss further.
So you have the unified transformation framework?
Yes.
What is the date of development? 3 months, 6 months?
Yeah, this is more like in 6 to 12 months. Okay, we are trying to get something out of the door, like for people to start to use and make it better, because we know that what we have is good, but we can do better, right? But that's what it's in 6 and 12 months. It's a multi-effort in the company. It's we are actually investing that a lot because we know that we have to make a better work there.
So we're already getting all the patient population into FHIR, but out of that FHIR, we want to have different cohorts. Maybe a cohort for all diabetic population, and maybe a different cohort for all cancer population, right? And then whenever there is a new patient that qualifies for the cohorts, and we want that patient to automatically get flagged, and maybe we want to take some actions, right? Maybe each cohort has its own actions. So is that already available in the FHIR, or would that be a separate?
That's great. So we're talking more about when a patient is entered into a cohort, can you define a set of actions or a set of, it could be anything really, notifications, triggers, something that goes to any kind of clinical facing application maybe that notifies? The answer is absolutely. So, for example, if you're updating in the FHIR server maybe a group resource, that might be the way that you logically group together your patient cohorts. When something is administered to that, there are a few different ways you could do that. You could either define a trigger on the group itself, or maybe within your actual pipeline that pushes it to the group, you invoke something else. But the point is we have a very sort of rich interoperability layer with those notification services that can kick off that sort of thing. Yeah, we might talk a little bit about, what do you want to sort of like wrap into a transaction, that sort of thing, but yeah, absolutely there are options. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of questions though. So one is for your provider access API and peer-to-peer, do you provide any consent management? Because that's one of the key things that is required. And the other one is for bulk peer-to-peer, right? I saw that you have an insert capability, but do you also have merge? I saw merge is coming in maybe 12 months afterwards, because most of the times that is the most complex part, because the data might be coming from multiple pairs for myself. So.
The dollar match and the dollar merge, they're very complicated. But I think this will become a table stake in a couple of years. So we're already working on it, and we're making innovative. We want to go to the market with something that's great. But I'm seeing this in 3-5 years. This is going to be like all FHIR services will have this. So for now, it's easier because we already understand how this works, because we have applications that does this. So we understand how we're going to build. But I'm foreseeing this as the next frontier for the FHIR server is actually having the merge and the match. Thank you. That's it.